Okay, I think it should be working now. Let's test. I hope the sound is okay. Someone can verify that the sound is fine. Will be good. Like I did a test and it worked fine, so I'm not really sure what's causing it. Test. Okay, I don't really know what the problem is, but okay, if it's fine, I'm just gonna continue, I guess. Okay, as I tried to say last time, I'm gonna do the same as well. I'm gonna start in the east, then work my way west, I guess. So, okay, people are saying it's fine, so you can just continue. Okay, you're gonna look at Oda first. Oda looks pretty good. But I just want to war against Qing. So it has a truce with Qing, which ends in next year. So it's probably gonna kill Qing, I guess. Manpower is okay if you compare to like an average nation. It's more like it's just that Poland and Spain is a bit higher than everyone else, but it's pretty good. It's above 1 million force limit. It's probably gonna get more once it takes Qing land here. This Qing land is pretty good. It's high dev. Like the area here is insanely good. It's a lot of farmlands, so it's very good to dev. I think.
I would disagree on that statement. Like.
Disagree on what?
Hello, first of all, that the Qing land is high dev. Like overall, the land in the Beijing node is pretty good, but if you compare it to the land north of Korea.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the land like you didn't take yet. Like.
Okay.
Like I mean, of course, the land like Siberia is pretty bad, but like. I mean the farmlands in like China is pretty good, so that's.
Yeah.
But overall, Oda's looking pretty good. It also converted to Orthodox, which is pretty good. It's going to take a bit of time to convert all this stuff, but it's getting there. So it's probably going to attack Qing when the truce ends. And then Oda can probably attack, like you can probably try and attack Russia or Khmer maybe. Either way, he's probably gonna come out on top, so he's got a pretty good position, I would say. Would you add anything to Oda? Svart?
Overall, I think the generals are pretty good. Like, he has insane generals.
Oh yeah,
like, every general. Like he has 4-6 fire generals.
I didn't even look at the generals, but yeah, the generals are insane.
Yeah, so he has 6 of them, and then he has like even a 4 siege general, so his generals are top notch.
Yeah.
I think his biggest problem right now is that, well, like he will get pretty free expansion, but he's hitting state cap right now, even with admin ideas. So
yeah, he's reaching state cap. He's going to get 10 more states though, but like his main problem is states.
Yeah, but like he's getting the states at 27, I guess. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's getting the next one, and currently he can jump to 25, and then he's like taking defensive ideas.
Yeah.
As well, like currently, I would say that he's looking pretty good. But if I were him, I would think about like making an additional vassal at one place, and like giving him some land. It's kind of inefficient to do so.
Like there's probably two things he can do. He could either make like a big vassal, or he could take like influence ideas lost and just make like through the door strat and make like 50 marches. I don't think there's a rule against this here, so That would actually be pretty good for Ching. I mean for Oda.
Yeah, I agree.
Guess we can move to. I'm just gonna take a quick look at Ching. It's pretty. Like I don't think the Ching player is coming back, and the nation's pretty dead. So, like there isn't much to say about it. It lost the war against Oda, so. And he's probably going to lose again. So yeah, I'm not gonna say anything more about that. Going to take a look at Khmer. If you compare it to last session, Khmer was, I think they had more than 50% more score against Mughals, but I think they got a bit greedy. I think they should have tried and stab him out. Instead, he wanted to attack Persia, since he saw that Persia was going to try and kill Mughal rebels, which is a bit. I mean, it's a bit of greedy strat. Like I understand what he was trying to do, but like it kind of backfired a bit, since like Mughals and Persia is stronger than Khmer and Vijayanagar, so.
Yeah, I agree. Like overall, I think he attacked Persia separately.
Yeah.
Which, in my eyes, is like there's no reason for it. Like I don't see a reason why you're attacking Persia. Like of course you're trying to get trade company land, which is.
No, but I mean the reason was that Persia was going to kill the rebels that was about to enforce in Mughals. So.
You wanna have some inside comment from the Mughal side?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so I was pushed back to the mountains, and first of all, I had like bankruptcy during the war, right?
Yeah.
During the 3 hour wars, and they were a bit lazy during the 5 years. They didn't push the mountains. They did some rebel stuff, whatever. And then they won at the session start. I went out of bankruptcy. I built up to 300k, I believe, or 400k. They declared on Persia because, they were cocky and wanted to just dominate the Indian region, and so no Persian troops killing my rebels.
Yeah.
And then I've had the 10 discipline event, and pushed them back out of the mountains, tech grabbed them and went into farmlands. And they sent me a peace offer for like 4 provinces,
Yeah.
which I accepted. Then I sold like 4 provinces to England for like 20 to 30k, which got me out of the loans. And then England declared on, or somebody declared, I think Vijayanagar declared on Persia because he was collecting in Cape, like 1/3 of all the Asian money going to Europe. Goes through Cape, right?
Yeah.
And he's collecting it there with his fleet, so they declared on him. While I had still a truce, and they broke their alliance within the truce deal, the peace deal. And yeah, Persia defended for like 3 years or 2 years. Then I attacked Vijay, sniped their bridge between Vijay and Khmer. They have like 2 forts which connects their lands. I sniped it like with assault and blah 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 and tech advantage, and then they were split and they had to move around the units with fleets, and yeah, we could push them back out of Vijay, and now we are on the Khmer front. I have some loans left, like I'm at half, I believe, half size.
Yeah, I think a bit below half actually.
Yeah, I have an interest per annum event, which might influence it pretty heavily, but I'm pretty positive about this one.
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed by Mughals' comeback. Like it looked pretty bad last session, so.
Yeah, it was. It was lack of execution from their side.
Yeah, I think Khmer and Vijayanagar got a bit greedy maybe. Like they should have won that war easily. I mean, they should probably have tried to stab it instead of trying to go for 100%.
Yeah, I mean, they lost a lot lot of war score battles, so they couldn't even step at me properly.
I think they had.
For like,
I think they had a bit more than 50% start of the session. But
yeah, they had 75 at one point.
Yeah.
And then I got a lot of stuff back in the farmlands, and the war score dropped
yeah,
heavily.
this is really hard to get like 100% again Mongols, since you need to take the mountains, which is pretty hard to do. So
Yeah, but I was 5 years bankrupt, right?
yeah, so they should probably try to rush it, I guess. But
yeah, they were lazy, but yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean
that's
the
my
war.
comment on this.
I mean the war is not over. But I mean
No, it's far from over. There's some Diplo going on.
yeah. I mean theoretically Mongols could try and like stab it VG out of the war, but considering like VG is fully occupied, he's probably not going to do that.
Yeah, it's an option. Like the worst case is if Oda joins. I'm talking to Nico. Like, I mean, he has other stuff to do. Hopefully, Russia might snag some Samarkand land for some money badger coalition money, but I'm gonna take the hit. The dream would be to step it Khmer out to get a 100% on VJ. But yeah, that's best case. Worst case is Oda joins and I can't step it VJ quick enough.
Yeah,
and then I lose.
If Oda joins the war, I don't think you have enough war score to stab it, since
oh
it's
yeah,
going to go down.
Yeah, right. I forgot about that.
Since you have 62% now, and it's probably going to go down below 50, I guess, if Oda joins.
Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, but yeah.
But like I see there's a battle going on, but like I see that Mugos has or you have a cannon stack, which is just standing there. Like you have a second cannon stack.
Yeah, I have. It's
so you should just try and block their reinforcements. Like since Khmer only has one cannon stack, so.
Yeah, I know, but I can't get behind Nadla.
You can.
Right, Nadia.
You can.
Oh, yeah, you can.
You can walk to Sunderbans, or how you pronounce it. Like you can easily get behind the fort.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just some nice hacks. I didn't even think that's possible because so many forts are there.
Yeah, but like VG has a cannon stack, which is just chilling by.
Yeah, it's inside Khmer's land.
But you're probably going to reach the Sunderbans before him, so you can probably try and do that.
Yeah, I didn't even think that's possible because. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. You have to add some other things about the war. Right now, if you take a look at the war, you will realize that Khmer is doing a lot of minor mistakes. Like, for example, in the current battle that's taking place, Khmer does not have a full cannon backline.
Yeah, yes, if you can. So.
And otherwise, I, for example, don't know why he's running 50 cannons instead of 40 or 80. I think with 638 force limit, which by the way can be increased by a hell if you would delete temples and replace them with regiment conscription centers.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about
like,
that
later.
later.
Like 1, 2, 3, like more than 20, and this would raise his force limit by overall, I would say by 60 or 70 force limit.
No, it's probably more, I think.
Yeah, like it's insane. Like he can bump his force limit by hell a lot. And
but
for example,
like
should
the war
never run in with like I think he's running in with manpower troops right now. Like I don't know what the army consists of, but I think it's manpower troops. So I don't know why he's using his manpower troops.
No, he's reinforcing with mercs.
Yeah, but he's reinforcing with mercs, but he entered with I will check it right now. I think it's actually like he's using a lot of manpower troops, like around 10 stacks, or no, yeah, even more. Like he's 82. Like he's using 60 manpower stacks in his doom stack, which is not something he should do. He's also only running 32 artillery in his main stack, which should instantly be increased to 38.
Yeah, that's a mistake. But like to
It's a big mistake.
To his defense, the war has been going on for like 70 years, so it's easy to forget.
Yeah, but this is a big mistake. Like, this is the stuff that loses you wars. Like, overall, I would just say that Khmer is. I think Khmer could actually win the war. Like, I don't know why you're taking fights in the Bengal Delta, which is flatlands. If you, for example, could just build a fort in the Jungle province, quite close, or like defend other provinces. Like, you have a lot of defendable land when it comes to
yeah, you shouldn't take a defensive battle at farmlands. You should, like, if he's smart, he should probably try and take a battle at jungle, and if he even like scorch earth, that would be pretty smart actually.
Yeah, like for example, he currently is building a level 8 fort in Gouda, or having also building a level 8 fort in Goragat, which is flatlands. Like, this is just a waste of time.
Yeah, you should try and
those forts. Build a fort in Akka, where you can simply delete the temple, and then you have a good defensive line. You can defend in Shakla, you can defend in Siliet. You have so many provinces that they are actually easy to defend. And, like, I see what they are trying to do, like taking a war of attrition. But if you're taking a war of attrition against a nation, it's just Mughals are not even utilizing their mercenary camps. They can hire over 200 more mercs at the moment.
Yeah, but I think Mughals is afraid to go bankrupt since like.
It's like I noticed. I was thinking about like pushing out into Khmer and with full mercs, but the thing is, I'm pretty confident we can still win without the 200 mercs.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, we will go bankrupt anyways. So I would say.
Yeah, but the problem is if I go bankrupt in 3 years, then the war's lost because I overbid mercs.
Yeah, like I think you should currently your biggest advantage is your higher force limit, and currently you're running a bit more than 2 cannon stacks. So right now you could potentially try to force an easy win when you're just trying to siege at 2 different.
Okay, but
we are planning on teaching 3 mountains at once.
Okay, but let's just focus on Khmer first, and we can go to Mughals later. But like, if you look at the buildings of Khmer, he has a lot of, wasted potential. Like, he has lots. You can delete so many temples and build like conscription centers instead. Like, you can easily get like at least 100 more force limit, which is pretty significant for him. That's like 20% more force limit. You can also build way more training fields if you delete temples. But like, the positive thing with Khmer is that it has a 636 ruler compared to Mughals, who has a 142 or 2 mil, and Persia has a 4 mil ruler. So Khmer is gonna get Tech 26 first, which is like maybe the most important tech in the game. If you don't look at like Tech 4 or something. You can also try and rush like Defensive 2 or something. So it's like Khmer should just try and let the war go on, so we can get to Tech 26 first. And as you said, Khmer should just try and take defensive battles on good terrain, like jungles. I think we can move on to VJ first, then we can go to Mughals. So VJ is fully occupied. It's it's not looking too great. Like, he has a bit of land in like Indonesia. He's just trying to recruit some troops. He also has a big vanguard in Khmer land, but it only has 20 cannons, which I'm not sure what happened with the rest of the cannons, but you should at least try to have like a full cannon stack. Like, currently only has 20 cannons in his entire army. So yeah, I don't see VJ like not losing land in this war spell. it's gonna be hard for him to push back. But like the thing with VJ is that he probably has infinite cash since he's getting sub from Netherlands, and he's also getting a lot of gifts from Netherlands as well. And I think,
which is probably more than subs.
yeah, it's way more than subs. Like he has 50k in the bank, and like he's even at full merge, and he's only losing 19 ducats or 47 ducats. So he's never going to run out of cash. That's not a problem, but like his problem is that he just has way too few troops. Like his force limit is only 334, and he's at full mercs, and he only has 240k troops. So it's going to be hard to. It's going to be hard to push back, basically. Guess we can move on to Mughals. So Mughals is having some loans, 95k. He's at 60 out of 140 loans, so a bit below half.
It's actually a bit more than half because interest per annum event is about to run out.
Yeah, I have another thing to add about VG, which you could have said. VG's biggest problem in the current war is that VG is running defensive quality quantity, which makes him having 5% less discipline overall. Like currently, he has the advantage of actually having the 5% discipline reform in his government, but he's having the lowest amount of discipline of all nations in the war, which is odd. Like he should be the one with the highest one, considering he has the Marafas Council reform, and it's a bit odd. Like he should at least have 140 at this point. Like I think ditching defensive ideas would have been a good one overall, but I'm saying that since
someone is asking who played VJ. It's Samurai, which is playing VJ. But yeah, he went defensive first, which is. I mean, it's good if you take it first, if there's like a death war, but you're gonna suffer later, which is what's happening now. He's having a bit lower.
Like the biggest problem with taking defensive early, like I think I'm one of the hugest advocates of defensive ideas first, if you have death wars. But the problem with defensive ideas is that you're delaying quality ideas to third, quantity to fifth, and offensive to seventh. So the thing is, you will either not get a quality spike or not a death cost spike at 3, or you will simply not get the offensive spike at 5.
You're always going to be behind. You're always going to be behind other nations, but like if it's like a fight for survival, it's very good to pick defensive first, but you are going to suffer later, which we're just doing now. Guess we can move to Mughals.
Yeah, I think I noticed about the Mughals is something I'm saying since ages by now. Like, it would be beneficial for his nation to actually take the trade, the merchant navy naval doctrine, and build some trade light ships to try to steal some trade. Would be pretty good for him, I guess.
How? Like my navy's getting.
Like, there's no need for your navy to actually fight. Like, just send your navy there and there for some time.
I think I had one navy at some point, but got trashed.
But you're never using the naval doctrine, which is think in mind that this could actually help to get a bit more of a load cap and such.
But the thing is, like, Chimera has like 40 heavies, and like the Mughal force, like the Mughal naval force limit is pretty low. It's only 29, so.
Who's only 29?
Like he doesn't have a big coast, so. And like England can always join the war and just trash him, so I don't think that's a viable strat.
I still think it would be viable for the cash. Like you're paying 580, and then you just.
Yeah, but he's just going to lose. Like he's just going to lose naval battle.
If I were him, I would just ask for one random province at K, and then try to catch some trade, like in the Ivory Coast, for example, or somewhere else. Like currently, they're stealing 800 ducats from the Ivory Coast, and like if you just do it for 1 month, you're probably getting a fuck ton of cash. put a merchant there as well, and you're rolling in ducats.
I don't think that's in range, but like if he has a
If he gets a province in Cape,
yeah, maybe.
Like you're in Age of Revolution, scoring ranges doesn't matter anymore. Like you can
That's
just
true.
take the thing.
But yeah, as you said earlier, like I'm looking at Mughals troops, and like he has 200k mercs he can still recruit. So if you just like recruit more troops, you should win this war pretty easily.
Reinforcing after, like, I spent 220k on the last war with full mercs, and I was taking a loan every month. And if Khmer is fighting every fucking quad, so
Yeah.
mercs are gonna get reinforced, and I think it's still cheaper to
But
let them reinforce.
if you're losing right now, you're losing 300 ducats, and each loan
Without
is
reinforcing,
six.
right?
Yeah, it's without. No,
It's
it is with reinforcing, but I don't think it's every troop.
It spikes to 1.5k if after a huge battle.
It's probably going to be more, yeah. So let's say it's like average 500. So that means you're like taking a loan every 3 months. So that's like 4 loans every year, and you can take like 80 more loans.
Yep.
So that's like.
For more, I think I noticed about Mughals that Mughals are not spying on Khmer right now, which is also a spy in my eyes. Khmer right now is not counter-spionaging, so you're building up by 1.61 every month, which is around about 19 or 20 each year, and that would give you like 4% additional siege ability and 20% once you hit 100.
Yeah.
And this is actually pretty good. Like 20% siege ability is actually pretty good. Like considering right now you're already having a pretty good siege ability, and once you add it up, your siege will be so fast. Like right now, they should be around 25 days probably.
Yeah, he's spying on VJ, but not on the Khmer, so. But he's having like counter espionage against Khmer, but he's not actually. Like I just want to say one thing about his buildings. Like it's a bit the same thing with Khmer, that he has a lot of. Like you should just like delete. Like there's some places you don't need trade power, and you can also delete a lot of temples and build big like conscription centers instead. Like you can easily get at least like 100 more force limit if you build all the buildings.
Yeah, there's also a big thing I don't understand right now. Like Mughals is running local manpower edicts in Persia, but not in India. Like this is looking a bit out. For example, like states like Syrian, or in Upper Doab or Lower Doab, if you would run the edict there, it would be like 10 times more effective than running them in Persia, where you have one manpower in the state. Like,
yeah, but it's not
going to do much.
Yeah, but the cost per manpower is basically the same. So since it's also going to be costlier to do it in Lower Doab.
Like I disagree on that one. Like for example, if you would do it in Lower Doab, you would pay 1.2 ducats for having 32 manpower that would produce 25% more, and he pays 0.3 for 3, 4, 7, 8. Like it would pay off. It's way better if you.
Yeah, but if the mill ratio is the same, is like the cost is going to be the same as well. Like that was a bit bad explanation. But like if he has 50% mill dev in both states, it's going to be the same, like cost effectiveness. But yeah, you should just run manpower edicts in all states.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mughals has been having a hard time economically for a long time.
Yeah, also I think that once the war is over, and he's taking his bankruptcy, We should think about re-upping his centers of trade because all of them are at 1.
Yeah.
But that's a thing for after the war. Like every single trade center in the Mughals land, I think, is at 1.
Yeah, it's easy.
Can be changed after the war. Like bump some of them up to 3 and then bankrupt.
It's easy. Now yeah, I mean you can do that, but like every time you bankrupt, like all the trade centers is gonna downgrade 1. So
problem is there's no after the war, only a short time of truce and then again war for 20 years and bankruptcy.
Yeah.
It's never gonna be a build-up time for me anymore.
But I mean, it might not even be a point to upgrade it, since I mean you're losing all your trade power anyway. So
I mean, I'm hoping
you can probably upgrade some. You can probably upgrade some in the Persian node, but
yeah, it would also be to step with Khmer and build the production buildings with the rest of the loan size, which I don't have yet because I was spending it on mercs. So
I would probably try and get a deal with VJ, or at least try to stab them out and then just go bankrupt. Since you're not in the war with, you're not in Persia's war, so. But I mean, VJ.
Yeah, also a big problem is that you're not, you're never ever getting 100% on VJ right now. Like
it's impossible to get 100%. So.
Yeah, because you can't come to Indonesia.
Yeah, I know. But I know, yeah.
Like this is rough, but like this won't be the end of the world.
But you can take a bit of land with like 30%, so.
Yeah, I have a good efficiency on him.
Okay, I guess we can look at Persia.
Another thing is that people should not sleep on sabotaging recruitment. That's what I noticed.
Yeah, you should always try and like build a spy network in your enemies if you can.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at Persia.
I'm going to see.
Persia's income is pretty good actually. It's making a lot of ducats in the Cape. It's making 257 ducats in the Cape. That's stealing all the ducats from England. It's a pretty smart play actually. He has 0 manpower though, so he's gonna suffer a bit. You do have 168 mercs, he's not recruiting. But like his problem is that he's fighting so far away from home that he doesn't have a place to actually recruit. And the thing is that like it's a bit hard to fight Khmer since he's not like actually bordering Khmer. So it's like very hard to recruit troops. I think it's where it left maybe. Okay. Yeah, as I said, it's a bit awkward for VJ to actually fight Khmer since it's not really bordering him. Looks like he's trying to siege down VJ first. But yeah, his income is pretty good. Manpower is a bit low. Let's look at his buildings. Like he could probably improve a bit more. Build more conscription centers. Like I would probably recommend if you only have 2 slots to delete the workshop and have a manufacturer and a regimental camp, or a regimental camp and a barracks for manpower. Like you kind of want to optimize like military buildings. He has a bit of a navy. He's collecting and using his navy to get more trade power in the Cape. I guess if I was playing England or In the Netherlands, I would just declare on Persia and kill his navy, so he doesn't steal all the trade. He's also collecting 82 here and 257 here, so it's actually quite significant. So yeah. Yeah, it's going to be hard for him to actually win against Khmer. It's probably going to, like, the war is either going to go on forever or it's going to end in a white peace or something. Like, considering we're already in 1716, the war might just go on forever, I guess. This might be an option. Okay, Netherlands player said that he actually did it. I'm not sure what he replied to, but was probably considering the trade, I guess. But I mean, Persia's main problem is that he's allied to like all of his neighbors except Spain and Russia, which is going to be pretty hard to defeat himself. So it's a pretty hard like diplomatic spot. So instead of trying to do something on his own, he instead tried to side with the Mughals, defended him against Khmer and Vijay, which is fine. And it's going to be hard for him to get something out of the war, I think. Okay, let's go to Mamluks. Yeah, Mamluks he's not in a trade league. He's not steering trade to the English Channel. I don't think he wanted to be involved with that. So he's collecting in like basically every node he has, which is fine, I guess. He's making some ducats at least. I was actually expecting his income to be worse, but it's pretty good. Like Mamluks is a bit like same boat as Persia. He's allied to all his neighbors. I think he was in a war against Pope last session, which ended in I think it ended in a white peace. Or maybe it was a war where Persia Rome lost some land to Poland. But at least he didn't lose any land, but he didn't gain any land either, so it's a bit of a stable position for him. Like, you can probably squeeze in a bit more porcelain buildings if you delete some workshops. You can delete a couple of workshops here. Like, I'm always saying that you should try and prioritize military buildings above economy buildings if you can, unless your economy is just terrible. But considering we're in 1716, it's probably better to prioritize military buildings. Like, early game is better to get a good economy going so you can snowball. But you're not going to snowball in 1716, so it's better to just delete temples and workshops and just build inscription centers and training fields if you can. Like, he has a couple of good training fields you can build. Like 2,500 each. That's actually very good. Probably has a good. If you look at his like manpower modifier, like it will probably increase his manpower by like 20k or something. Guess we can look at Rome. Oh yeah, DJ is playing Netherlands says he declared on Persia for trade. But didn't really seem that it works since Persia is still stealing his trade. So you should probably try and do something about that, or tell England to do something about it. Let's look at Rum. So Rum just lost the war against Poland last session. He lost a fair bit of land. Also some land which is pretty good defensible terrain, so it's gonna be hard to take back. I see that they also renamed a couple of provinces. Help. He's having a bit of loans, 15k, 16k, 15 loans out of 129. So objectively, he can take way more loans, but he's probably going to bankrupt eventually. But he can probably bankrupt after next war. So let's look at his buildings. It's pretty good actually. It's very good. Yeah. Like he's almost maxed out on mill buildings. He's only lacking a couple of in provinces he has forts, which is understandable. But like if I was playing it, I would probably delete the counting house and build manpower buildings instead. He also has 0 power projection, which is because he lost provinces against Poland. It looks like the country is pretty well managed. Force limit of 733. It's a bit below Poland and Spain, but it's pretty good. Manpower 800k. It's also fine. Like his main problem is that he just has too few provinces. It's just too small. Like he probably should have tried to get a bit more land from like Persia or Mamluks or something. But to the Rum player's defense, he was a new player. He joined a bit late after the previous player left, so I think he has done pretty good with this nation. Okay, let's look at Russia. Okay, so Russia just bankrupted at the end of the last session. His bankruptcy is ending in well, almost 4 years actually. So if I'm gonna make a prediction, is that Poland is going to attack Russia, so he doesn't have a chance to recover. He should also at least hire an advisor. But yeah, Russia is extremely poor. Like it's by far the lowest income of all the, let's say, big nations. But I mean, he has managed to kind of build a bit of buildings in his bankruptcy. He has a lot more buildings now than he had at the end of last session, so that's pretty good. Like he still has a lot of buildings to build, which like objectively he shouldn't have, considering it's 1716. So like Russia is probably the country with like the biggest potential still. But like since it's Russia, he still has 1600 force limit. But yeah, it's going to be another bankruptcy war for Russia for sure. So like Poland should just attack Russia and and try to let the war go on and let Russia bankrupt, I guess. It's also it has a okay ruler, I guess. It's a very average, but like he has pretty bad prestige. So like Russia's quality is way worse than Poland. Gonna talk about Poland later. He also has a loan when he's bankrupt, so it's going to be tough for Russia to actually win against Poland, but it's looking, I would probably say it's looking better now than last session. But it's going to be hard for sure. Guess we can look at. Actually, we can look at Pope first. So, like, I'm not even sure why Pope is still alive, considering he's so small and it's 1716. But like, he has been protected by Poland and France all game. Rome tried to attack Pope last session when France and Poland was busy, but France decided to defend Pope. So I'm pretty sure it ended in a white peace. But like, the Pope income is fine for being so small. But like, his main issue is that his force limit is also. His force limit is very small compared to other nations, and his manpower is even worse. So, but like, the same thing with Pope is you can build a bit more buildings if you actually deleted. Or just delete the counting house here. You can delete the cathedral here. Then you can build a bit more buildings. Like, just delete the counting house here. Delete the cathedral here. Like, if you do that in the remaining provinces, you can probably use the force limit by 40 or 50. I think his force limit modifier is like 80, I assume. Where is the land force limit modifier? Yeah, 80%. So yeah, it's probably going to be like maybe like 40%, since it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, not 8, 40, but like at least 20% more. Not 20%, 20 more. Which is pretty good. Yeah, someone's asking why Russia has a low income, so you can tag back to Russia. Like, I mean, there's two reasons that. First of all, everyone is stealing his trade. Like, if you see here, England has 74% trade power in Novgorod, so his trade income is pretty terrible. I'm not sure what he's collecting. He's collecting. Okay, he's just collecting several nodes, which is fine, I guess, considering he's losing so much trade power everywhere. And his production income is also very bad because he has so few buildings compared to the other nations. Like, he has it's making 142 from production. That's like half of Poland, since he's missing so many buildings. But I think it's good that he prioritized building force and buildings above manufacturers. Since you just got a bankrupt again. Guess we can look at Poland. Okay, someone says that Poland was going to join Pope if they didn't white peace. So yeah, I think Rome was winning the war, but as he said, Poland threatened to join the war if they didn't white peace. So that's what happened. Yeah, as you see here, Poland's stupidly rich. He's got more than 100k in the bank. He's also making almost 1k each month. But I mean, the probably funniest thing last session is that both Poland and Spain went to revolution, like got to revolution. Spain was the only one who got to revolution, or is a revolutionary target. But Poland got the Revolutionary Republic as well. which is apparently what happens if two people get revolution at the same time. So he basically got all the quality modifiers. He got 10% from the government, and he got the factions as well. So he got 5%. So the only thing he's missing is missing 40% from being a revolutionary target. But like his force limit is pretty good. Like I think he's maxed out on conscription centers, which is very, very good. You can build a couple of more barracks or training fields. But overall, the nation is very well managed. It's I'd say almost ideally what you want. It also has very good power protection because it took provinces for a rum. Prestige is a bit bad, which is understandable considering he just went revolutionary. His manpower is also the best in the game. It's almost 2 million, 1.86. So it's very good. It's probably first tied with Spain for being the strongest country. According to Scannerberg, they're like almost same strength. So I'd probably say that it's tied at the moment. But yeah, I'm probably seeing that Poland is going to attack Russia at the start of the next session. He has a truce, but the truce ends in like 3 months, so he's probably going to attack when the truce ends, since Russia has 3 months left of his bankruptcy, so he should just try and like blitzkrieg Russia, take as many forces as possible before his bankruptcy ends. Like Russia doesn't have that many forces, so he can just like if you take all his forces, you basically won the war. Like he has, I think Russia might have more force limit. Don't remember. Yeah, Russia has slightly more force limit, but Poland has a way better quality. So, and his income is more than 3 times higher, and he also has 400k in bank. So, but he's also going to have to fight Rome as well. But I would probably say he's going to win. He's going to win in the long run. It's like the only way he's going to lose if he does something dumb or if he fucks up, I guess. Either way, Poland is in a very good position. Let's look at France. So France lost or started last session in a war against Poland, which it was losing. It also lost some land in the war. You can see here. It wasn't actually that much, but something. But yeah, France is way weaker than Poland. Like force limit is more than half, or less than half, than what Poland has. So manpower is also less than half, or is closer to 3 times less. So you can't really compare Poland and France. So yeah, France is also bordering Spain in the south. So it is bordering the 2 strongest nations in the game. So it's going to. I don't really see France. Like France had a very good game earlier, but then it kind of stagnated and fell short of nations like Spain and Poland. So it's going to have a hard time. But like the same thing with Poland is that it has just like endless cash. It has 50k in the bank despite fighting wars for like non-stop 100 years. It's getting 500 in subs from the Netherlands. I think it's also getting quite a bit of gifts during the war as well. But it's a pretty hard spot diplomatically. Pretty hard spot diplomatically for France. He needs to decide what to do. Like he either needs to side with Poland or side with Spain. Like otherwise he's just going to die to both. I guess you just need to like pick a side and go for it. Like he should probably have tried to kill Pope earlier. Right now it's more like he's defending Pope without like getting anything out from the war. So he should have just unallied Pope earlier and try to get some land for him. Yes, we can look at England first. Like England is making insane ducats. It's getting 1.5k in subs from Netherlands. I mean, there isn't really much to say about England. It's a merchant republic, so it's giving everyone like goods produced modifier. So it's giving goods produced modifier compared to how much trade power it has in each node. So as you can see here, it has 65%. We can look at channel. It has 72% trade power in the channel, which means that it's giving half of that in goods produced modifier. So it's giving 36.2% goods produced modifier in every province in node. So it's just creating more money. I mean, it isn't much to say about England, other than that it's the only naval nation. Like naval force limit is pretty good compared to the other nations in the game. And it has naval maritime, so like no one can really compete with it. And it has 48 heavy ships, which isn't that much, but like it doesn't really need more. I guess we can take a look at Spain first. Like I'm playing Spain, so I'm a bit biased when talking about Spain. But like Spain has made a massive comeback. It has really benefited from being at peace for a pretty long time. So I've been deving a lot of stuff in Africa. If you look at like the dev map mod, it's pretty good dev, which shows in manpower 1.7 million manpower max, which is pretty good considering that most of the dev is in Africa. It also got a rev last session, which really boosted its numbers. Almost 1.9 million force limit. It also has almost 25% professionalism. So like if you recruit one general and then you slack in, you end up with 3.4 million manpower. And then you have over 800 mercs. So I would probably say that perhaps Spain is the strongest country right now. Yeah, Sassoon is saying that Rome has a lot of forts on the border. And yeah, it has. It's actually, yeah. But I mean, many of the forts are in like grasslands and such, so it doesn't really provide much of defense. Back to Spain. Spain was also quite lucky last session getting a strict ruler. So yeah, Spain just need to... Oh yeah, it also has the mission for 15% more morale, which is very good. But yeah, Spain is currently allied to France, Monarchs. So they probably just need to decide what to do. Like, it has the strongest army right now. No one can really compete. Phalanx is also perfect. It has a conscription center in every province. Almost a training field in at least every good province, which actually has manpower dev. So yeah, I would probably say that Spain is the strongest country right now. Just need to decide what to do. Okay, let's look at Exodus nations. Let's look at Netherlands first. So Netherlands is currently making 7.6k ducats each month, which is pretty insane. But like, everyone is there in trade for him, so, and he's collecting in English Channel. I mean, there's much to say about like, it's almost like every possible node in the entire world is there in trade to the English Channel. Like, the only exception is that Persia is stealing somewhat trade. So England and Netherlands should probably try and focus on beating Persia, I guess. That would probably be the most beneficial to their economy. Netherlands also had a war against Texas last session, which saw it lose some land. It was a 1v1, but I don't really see how Netherlands is ever going to win against Texas in a 1v1. Like, it has 600 force limit, and if you look at Texas has 1 million force limit, so that's almost 50% more. And Texas also has better quality as well, so it's not really a competition. Only thing Netherlands has is that it has relatively more mercs compared to his force limit, since he has the Burgundian ideas. 50% more mercs. So yeah, like, Netherlands also has he also has unbuilt buildings, which I don't understand, since he has 200 fucking k in the in the bank. Like, if he actually built this, his force limit would increase by like 40. Then I can also delete, like, you just delete counting houses and build conscription centers instead. Like, you have endless cash. Why do you need more? Just delete the conscription centers and build delete the counting houses and build conscription centers. Like, if you build conscription centers in every province, your force limit might like increase by 100 or even more. So then his force limit would be like 700 maybe. Then it's probably going to be a closer fight if he decides to 1v1 Texas again. But I also expected Netherlands to be like more developed. Like, he has developed some of his grasslands, but he still has a lot of grasslands which are like 3 development in 1716, and he has been in a new world for like 200 years. Like, I understand it doesn't have prosperity. You should also take, why is not taking the main power from nobility? Yeah, even if it doesn't have. Does it have the guest dev cost? Yeah, like there's so much wasted potential. Like, why is he deving his province to 40 when he has so many? Like, you should always try and develop most of your provinces to 20 instead of deving provinces to 30 or 40. Since you're basically deving for two reasons. You're deving to increase the base development or increase like mill development so you can get more manpower. But you're also developing to get more building slots. Since it's really 4 building slots you want. It's see if he has 1.20 dev. Just find an example. For example here, like there's really 4 building slots you want, and that is you want the manufacturer, which he has, and then you want the training fields, and you want the conscription sellers, and then you want the counting house. That's kind of the 4 main buildings you want. And if you only have 3 spots, I would probably switch out the counting house or the workshop and just have the force building, the manpower building, and the manufacturer. Okay, let's look at Texas. The last country. So I also
Hey, Monkey Man.
hello. So I just look at the country.
Yeah, when you look at my capital, you looked at what was my capital.
Yeah, okay, it was their capital, but it's not their capital anymore. Oh, because it lost.
Yeah, I think it was the 50 dev thing in the Age of Evolution. I had them to 20 and then I increased it from 50 from 10 with admin power since I had 20 stuff.
Yeah. So you had a 1v1 against Texas last session, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Yeah, and you haven't noticed, but I didn't build forts on my eastern borders. All of his vassals just went there and siege while I was actually beating every battles.
Yeah. Like I think like Texas should. Like I don't see Texas losing that war, but I can see the war taking a long time if you win all the battles. But like Texas,
Yeah, I mean,
Texas
I
is.
have the highest morale because Republic gets many buff into morale and stuff. So currently has the highest morale.
Yeah, you have really high morale. That's true.
I had one more morale than Texas. So.
Yeah, but having a high morale is not going to win you the war. It's just going to. You're basically just going to win the battles, but you're not really going to win the war. And then. You're taking more casualties, so. If you look.
I got notes for that. But I'd say those problems basically he went around my fourth line and basically then he's just stuck like while I lost one battle and since I basically didn't have any much lands to retreat from, then he just stuck up on mountains and adjust.
Yeah, well I was looking at the war in Skanderberg, and I noticed that he took like 2 times casualties compared to him. It's like for every Texan troop that died, they died 2 Dutch troops. So that's probably like. So that's probably like the main reason you lost the war. Since Texas has better quality and he has like almost 50% more force in it as well. So.
I mean, yeah, you see battles where I was outnumbering and I still won, so.
Yeah, but you probably won the battles because you have higher morale, so. But you took more casualties, so. So you're gonna run out of manpower eventually.
Yeah. Well, it happened. I think it happened when after I lost, then I just lost all my armies and all my manpower. it was actually really fun, really good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, currently we did that all because Texas was bored. But while I was fighting, I couldn't handle thing related to money, which is why I got 200k stack, because I can't multitask fighting someone and sending money away. So, and I noticed that people have been stealing left and right from the trade. So I'm going to finish Persia because I already downed him once and destroyed his entire fleet.
Yeah.
He's trading fleet once and he's still doing it again, so I'll ship my whole army there and just down him.
Yeah, I think
last time I was
I think a lot of people try to like take advantage of the situation when you were busy fighting Texas.
Yeah, I posted here how much my income dropped while I was fighting. I think I lost something over 2,000 income.
Yeah, but I mean your income doesn't really matter at this point. Like you basically have endless income. Like even if you lose like half your income, like you're still gonna have endless income.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, let's look at Texas.
Texas actually took all of the province right there. All this province took pretty much all the province right there, which is why it's a bit annoying.
Yeah, I see. I think Texas gained like 1 kingdom this session.
Yeah.
But like Texas is probably the country in the entire world which has, I would probably say, most potential, which is not really using. Like he has so many like grasslands which is for dev, which he hasn't dev. I'm not sure why. Like you can dev it for so cheap. Like you can dev a 4 dev province up to 20 for 4 clicks per dev.
I mean, that was my land, so that's already dev. I mean, if I recall,
I mean his land.
Yeah,
he has a bunch of grasslands all over his country, which is for dev. Like he has dev very little compared to European nations. Like he has so many good provinces he could dev if you. Like it's just a lot of wasted potential. Like his manpower is very low compared to European nations. Like he's never going to be able to compete with Poland in terms of manpower.
Well, I mean, the problem with Poland is basically sending in troops. I mean, I've noticed it. I have built 100 transport. So speaking and knowing I'm standing away. So one way or another, when you have a notion that's actually really annoying for transport too, so he's not really going to be able to fight against Poland. Anyway.
Yeah, but I was talking about his manpower. Like his manpower is very low compared to like the European nations.
Yeah, if you compare him to Poland, yeah.
But that's probably like that's mainly due to like Poland has better provinces to dev.
Yeah, a lot of farmland.
But like Texas also has a lot of provinces he could dev, which he hasn't dev.
I mean, Texas regional and Texas itself is dev. I mean, yeah, he hasn't dev like the next lowest provinces in southern and in Central America. But as I think he did a bit.
I see probably like 30 provinces which he could dev for like 4 mana per click up to 20. So
you guys will protest reform, so all to that to get another 10% discount.
So it's
and I think Texas also has a dev cost, right, in his ideas.
Yes.
Yeah, so because I won't be able to get any dev province for
Texas has a lot of potential it's not really using. He also has a lot of Texas also has a lot of buildings he could build if he deleted some churches or temples. Like you don't really care about workshop if you can build a conscription center instead.
Yeah, you get 10%. Yeah, so basically, you guys have I got an extra 20 dev cost compared to others because I don't have dev cost and I'm reformed.
Yeah. Yeah, like I understand why Netherlands is a bit worse dev than European nations, but like Texas should be much better dev. Which I don't really
I
understand.
recall he was AI for quite a bit, and his AI, I mean, the AI really affected that. I mean,
But
I recall mine bankrupting and wasting 5k mana, and I was like, what the fuck? And I think his was also better. I mean, basically when he got out, I already had much more manpower than him because his AI wasted all his military points. I don't know what.
Yeah, but it should be possible to catch up pretty fast considering it's so cheap to dev. Like it only costs 4 mana to dev to 20 in so many places. But yeah, I'm not sure what Texas is going to do next, if it's going to get involved in Europe or if it's going to fight Netherlands again.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We were fighting because, well, he was bored. But now I've got to handle the trade because Persia, for example, is messing it around. So and basically, yeah, for example, last session, he already attacked it, but I was fighting Persia, so I said, hey, wait till I space out. And then we fought. But since next session, because the next session I guess he'll have to find his board somewhere other to attack.
Yeah, like it's really annoying for Texas since like he only has 50 transports, so it's going to take a little time to ship troops to somewhere else.
I've built actually quite a huge navy and very big for that reason because I wanted to do a sensitive invasion, but that would probably happen. But yeah, so even if I've got twice its transport, and I just realized that it's insane. It takes an insane amount of time to transport the ships around.
Yeah.
And after you transport, you've got to store them in one place before you attack, and that's also the annoying part.
Yeah, Netherlands has 110 transports. But like even that is going to take a long time since it takes a long time to just cross the ocean. So
yeah.
By the time you arrive, like the war is almost over.
Well, it's not over, but
it's really inconvenient to fight back overseas. But yeah, it's probably going to be an exciting next session. I think we're going to see some big wars, most likely.
Yeah, I think the first thing I will do is Persia and just sleep and I don't know, intervene in Mughal conflicts. It appears to be so interesting, and it's keep changing. The last session was the Mughals were completely losing, and now it's Vijayanagar.
Yeah, it's really turned around. So.
And, yeah, and have you noticed that England and I have been buying provinces of Mughals for 7k
yeah.
and he has been selling them to us.
Yeah, I was expecting Mughals to be bankrupt now, but like he's gotten a lot.
Yeah, I mean
he's gotten a lot of cash. So.
Yeah, we started buying provinces from him because we realized that he needed money, so we said, hey, 7k for a province, do you win? And he said yes. We're like, okay, yeah.
I think most people would.
Well, too bad actually, since they're fighting, cannot buy land of them, because, which is actually bad, but otherwise I would have bought, England and I would have probably bought the entire coast right now.
Yeah. Like the fun thing about being like a money nation is that you can basically like fund both sides in wars and just.
What do you think happened in the France and Polish war? Basically, since they were both basically founders, EU founders, basically they get access to William's cash. Basically, I was funding them both. England was like, wow, because I gave 15k to both sides.
Yeah, you're basically like promoting endless wars.
Actually, I could. I mean, I could remove against bankruptcy. The whole concept of the bankruptcy was the whole game. But I don't think fans and Paul would be exactly happy with that.
No, like I think Russia is probably the nation that is suffering most from the title.
I mean, normally as a normal English player was actually goes nicer to Russia than the Serbia. The Serbia really started selling all of Russian trade. Yes, I recall seeing. I wasn't really paying attention, but I think I recall seeing Netherlands, English merchants selling all the trade up to Siberia. So
yeah, I saw that.
I've been to Siberia. It was the trade not before. So
yeah, I saw that too. Like I think I don't think the Russia player expected England to have trade range into Siberia.
yeah.
But he was basically stealing all of Russia's trade, so Russia decided to bankrupt.
He gained good produce modified.
Yeah, but like he's probably losing more than he's actually gaining.
Yeah. Yeah, in Novgorod it's actually really 2/3 of the trade is going away.
Yeah, he's actually moving.
Yeah, no, it was.
He's 3/4. He's 74%. Like Russia's collecting 10 ducats, while 20 ducats is tearing away. But
Yeah, Russian Republic got really nice. I forgot how I never don't really play with them, but I realized that with the goods release modifier is insane. And if you start lobbying for cash, you can basically make everyone happy.
Yeah. But like if I'm going to make a prediction for next session, it's probably that Poland is going to attack Russia. It's probably very likely that's going to happen. And I think the medieval war is going to go on for a bit more time. I don't really see it end right yet. But I'm probably thinking that Medieval is going to win.
So that is in a very interesting position. You could strike at Russia or help Canada.
Yeah.
And actually he's pretty strong, right? I think I recall like he would be the top three strongest nation, right?
You mean Russia?
Oda.
Yeah, Oda. Yeah, I think Oda is number 3 actually. So, but Oda is probably going to attack Qing, take the remaining parts, and then he's either going to attack Russia or Khmer, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, and he would be the game changing because if you attack Russia won't be able to play.
Yeah, but I mean, if Oda attacks Russia you should just encom. Like, there's no point in fighting in Siberia since just like the supply limit is so low and he's just going.
I mean, since he hasn't done it at all, so.
Yeah, he's just going to lose more than he actually. He's just trying to give away some land and make him happy, I guess. And then Spain is also pretty strong, but I just need to decide what to do, I guess. But like Spain should probably try and oppose Poland, I guess, since Spain and Poland is like the strongest country right now, so. But France is kind of in between, so it's a bit awkward.
Is the buffer zone between since the two revolutionary
Yeah, it's a bit broken that we have 2 revolutionary nations, but.
It's fun because there's one where you get 40%. There's one that's a target, and there's one that isn't. So it's actually really interesting to see which is the better, actually.
Yeah, but I mean, the advantage of Poland is that he can't really lose it. Like if Spain loses a war, someone can demand to end the revolution, and he loses the government. But like Poland.
Yeah, actually, I recall Tendon was saying that what he wants to do is try. If you take a look at France, he wanted to trigger the revolution because he wanted to override it since the event in France overrides the revolution.
Yeah, I recommend that you should.
It would be interesting in our cases because since there are 2 revolutions, which one would actually be before? I'm not saying that if on the bad case scenario is that you actually lose the revolutionary track and Poland keeps actually.
Yeah, I would probably think that Spain is going to lose it, and like Poland is revolutionary, but not really revolutionary. So I would probably like
Yes,
Spain is probably going to lose it
probably.
if France
Yes, you
has
might
to.
actually keep it.
Since like Poland is like the game doesn't really recognize Poland as revolutionary. It just has the revolutionary government, which is
Yeah.
like a bit weird situation, but that's how it is.
Well, I mean, he also has the faction. Faction actually really powerful.
Yeah, I mean he has all the like equality modifiers except 40% force limit from being the revolutionary target. So if you actually had like 40% more, you would maybe have like 1700 force limit instead of 1400. But like he has insane quality, so.
Yeah, it's Polish ideas. Oh, and better, can he from Germany or does he need a few more provinces?
He needs one province from France and 2 from England.
Well, I mean, England would probably sell him to
Yeah,
France.
England would just sell it, but I don't think France would sell it. I'm not sure. But.
Well, that depends. If France chooses to be allied Poland, then it might actually.
Yeah, but he only needs one province from France. Since I think Steve wanted to.
Form Germany. As a nice end to his start as that, little band actually.
Kind of his dream to form Germany.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it. If you want to add anything more.
No, not really.
I think we're gonna end it there and see you guys next week.